JetBlue uses secret programs that most credit card companies won't tell you about. They'll help you consolidate or settle your debts for a fraction of what you owe. With JetBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved. There's no risk. The more you owe, the more JetBlue can save you. See how easy it is to get started with free information. Let JetBlue show you how 10 minutes could save you thousands. Call now. 800-200-6895. That's 800-200-6895.
I'm just living sky high right now. So I'm very thankful for it. And the team at JetBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Welcome to Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner and best of the Tri-State. Today is Tuesday, October 8th, and Tiny, I wanted to tell you a quick story.
Yep.
I was really surprised that today is only Tuesday because I feel like I'm losing my mind already.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Last night, I was on the phone, kind of going over the day because we
You notice how people, whenever they're talking about being on the phone, they have to do the.
Yeah.
I was on the phone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you.
And then I rolled down my window.
Yeah, you could be interviewing the president, and it's so, Mr. President, do you get the nuclear call? Like, does Putin just pick up like this? I just feel like it's so funny.
Oh,
anyway.
Well, thank you for that. And I was on the phone.
Look at you.
I was talking about the first day of Let's Talk Tri-State and how it went down. And I was hanging my clothes simultaneously in the closet.
Hanging my clothes.
Yeah. And I was trying to find something to put in my purse, and I couldn't find my purse anywhere. And I was walking all around my apartment trying to find it. Well, it turns out I actually put my purse on a hanger in my closet and put it in there because I feel like it's only Tuesday and I'm already losing my mind.
Space saving, I suppose. That's not bad.
It's a first for me, so we'll see if we stick with it or not.
Look, you have a cat. Keep things up off the ground.
That's true.
Including your purse. Hide it in the closet. Because doesn't she hide in the closet too?
She does, yeah. She jumps up there.
Why shouldn't your purse?
I mean, I like to keep things, special and unique. But let's talk about the weather today. Another beautiful day in store.
Yes.
Sunny, high 68.
I love that. And tonight, clear, chilly. Were you go last night?
I was. I'm currently playing my favorite game. How long can I go until I have to turn on the heat?
Okay.
And it did get a little chilly last night, but I was able to manage through.
I feel like this is coming more quickly than usual. We're at a low of 41 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday I get home, and Marriott is not known for putting the windows up. I love that. I think this time of year, the windows up, the breeze coming in is great.
Absolutely.
I would sleep like that all night long, but she is a quick, those things go down as soon as nightfall, and it still got cold.
I like to see my breath. That's when I know it's like really good and chilly.
Yeah, I do like to set my room up like The Exorcist as well. Yeah, of course.
We're going to see a repeat tomorrow, high 68 and sunshine. Today is National Touch Tag Day.
You're it.
And National Fluff and Under Day. Growing up with two brothers for Touch Tag Day, we never played Touch Tag. We played Let's Throw Katy on the ground as hard as possible and leave her there and see what kind of trouble we could get into.
So I understand, I know why they're saying Touch Tag, but did you ever call it Touch Tag? We just call it Tag.
It was just Tag. I never called it Touch Tag, but I think you are supposed to now just gently, touch people. But back in the day when I was a kid, it was like, let's literally throw Katy as hard as we can to the ground.
Now it is when when we used to just, go up and smack somebody or slap somebody. Now it is, pardon me, is it okay to touch you on your shoulder to tag you? And then you're it.
What about Fluffernutter Day? Was that something you were a fan of growing up?
I never had a Fluffernutter until my stepmother made one. And she made it like it was the most common thing in the world. But the Fluffernutter, for those of you who don't know, is marshmallow fluff as well as peanut butter, and that becomes a sandwich.
I don't know if you have to explain that. I think everybody knows what Fluffernutter is.
Look, you'd be amazed who doesn't know that. But what she said was the secret, and I think she was right. She used potato bread.
Oh, okay.
Martin's potato bread.
My mom used to put bananas in it.
naturally.
Yeah, and I loved it. But I don't know how we ate that as children because it's just straight sugar. But I tried Fluffernutter as an adult and it wasn't my jam.
It's not much better than a peanut butter and jelly for you when you think about it.
Absolutely, just straight sugar.
Peanut butter, I mean, the
My
jelly's
kids love it.
sugar, so.
And it was back on this day in 1945 that Percy Spencer patented the microwave oven.
And Katy has been thankful because she can eat ever since.
Well, I thought about this morning as I was reading about this. Is a microwave oven a microwave?
Yes. It's like touch tag. It's just a microwave.
But so what is the oven called? Like
It's just what they used to call it. So you had your oven, and it used to be with TV dinners that you had to put TV dinners in the oven.
No, I'm talking about like the microwave oven is what I used to call it growing up. It was like it had two what do you call these?
There's a rack.
Yeah.
That you could, yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought up about before was it used to be like the Swanson TV dinners. Originally, you put them in the oven and waited for like an hour and a half for it to get up to temperature. Well, then with the invention of the microwave, they simply called it it's basically the microwave version of an oven, because most people put the TV dinners was one of the first things that you ever put in the microwave. So microwave oven.
You would know this. Like this is such a tiny thing. You would know this.
I watch a lot of History Channel.
Yeah, I know.
How it's made, things like that.
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about what's coming up today on Let's Talk Tri-State. We're going to be joined by Amy Hicks from the United Way of Franklin County.
We love Amy so much. Even before we started Let's Talk Tri-State, we've known Amy for years, and she's just an amazing partner for everyone here at 92 on the GOAT and for Standing Media as a whole.
And speaking of people we love, we have really great guests today. Jess, Brindle from the Boys and Girls Club of Chambersburg and Shippensburg. What I love about her is the passion that she has for that organization.
Oh, yeah.
And an old friend of ours, Jennifer from the Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter, is coming in as well.
You talk about energy. You thought Katy has energy. You've seen nothing until Jennifer Vanderau comes in here from the Humane at the Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter. I mean, Jen is top notch.
She's great.
And she
She's
knows
great.
and she loves what she does, which is anytime you get someone who's passionate and they love what they do, which Jen does, it makes all the difference in the world.
And that's what's coming up today on Let's Talk Tri-State.
Hello, this is Pastor John Starr from Good Ground Church in St. Thomas. I want to take a few minutes to share with you a little bit of God's Word. There's a well-known story in the Bible about Jesus where he feeds 5,000 people, not including the women and the children, with a little boy's Lunchable. It's 5 loaves and 2 fish. And we rightly tend to focus on the miracle that Jesus performed, but I also today want to focus on the little boy's story. Jesus' disciples, they identify this boy and they say this in John 6:9. There's a boy who has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish. But what are they among so many? What are they among so many? I've found myself asking that of myself time and time again. What are the things that I can do among so many needs? In other words, what value can I possibly be to what you want to do, God? What are the few things that I have to offer among so much and so great of a task that needs done? And what I realize is that this story is about the miraculous, but it's also about the practical. It's about what we can take to Jesus and surrender to him in order that others might be blessed. Maybe you're listening and saying, what can Jesus possibly do through me? How could he possibly ever use who I am and what I have to offer? What am I among so many things that need to be done? My friend, can I tell you that when you bring everything you have to Jesus, he will do an incredible work through you and in you. And whenever you look at your hands, you may only see your hands, but when you give yourself to him, it's not just your hands at work, but his hands at work through you.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State. Tiny, take us through today's headlines.
Well, Katy, one thing that I think has been on everyone's mind lately is I-81. I-81 through Maryland into Pennsylvania, of course, it's a nightmare.
To say the least.
To say the least. Seems like every week there's at least one horrendous accident that ties up 81. And we look at it from a standpoint of how does it affect us. Our traffic was backed up. Sadly, more times than not, it means the loss of a life, which leads to these just horrendous backups. Well, there may be some good news and relief coming, at least for the Maryland portion of 81, which oftentimes is just as bad as the PA portion.
Go on.
Last Friday, we had a massive backup.
Oh, yes.
And I think I-81 was shut down for like 19 hours. in Maryland. So what happened was that very day, Governor Wes Moore was in town for something unrelated. So they wound up having kind of an impromptu meeting and wound up discussing the widening of 81 in Maryland. And Governor Wes Moore said that this is a project that needs to get done. I could not agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
With him more.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's don't tell me we don't have the money for it. We have the money for it. Let's put it to good use. I can't think of a better use. I think what's happening is that we have so many distribution facilities, warehouse facilities. So there's a lot of trucks on I-81.
Yeah, it's a huge hub for tractor trailers. Absolutely.
Exactly. So and the 70-81 interchange being right there, I think one of the big issues you have is, sure, we can widen it, and I think that we should. It's a worthy cause. The issue that I have is if you keep adding all of these warehouses, these businesses, which there's plans to do that.
We're just going to keep getting more congested.
You're going to keep filling it up.
Right.
So then you have, instead of 2 lanes of backed up potential, car crashes, then you have 3 lanes of backed up potential car crashes. I don't know that there's an answer to it ultimately, but certainly something needs to be done, and I think this is the first thing that we can.
That's great.
Done.
It's good to hear. Something else that I think is really on everybody's mind is the Hurricane Milton. That's, we're just starting to recover from Helene, and now we're hearing about Hurricane Milton. But this has the potential to become one of the most destructive hurricanes on record for West Central Florida, which is just devastating. I mean, they're just getting over what just happened with Helene. But this includes the Tampa area, and millions of residents are preparing for the impacts and evacuating the coast. I don't know if you saw the videos of the evacuation. And
speaking of traffic jams,
right,
for this cause, but I saw today, and I know a lot of our viewers and listeners have homes in Florida, and they may have been getting them ready to visit them, and snowbirds, we call them around here, to head down there. Plans are obviously changing. I was watching the news today and seeing some of that same video, and words like devastation, practically certain death, storm of the century, once in 100 years, the storm surge, the storm wall reaching about 12 feet, and the projection that they have of the path of this storm literally is all encompassing of Central Florida, and it is an even split. But there's not even a lot of these hurricanes, they kind of go up and clip the coast, so they might hit somewhat inland, or they'll be in the Gulf Coast, but they kind of disperse. This one has south, as you said, Central Florida. This one has it set in its sights.
Yeah,
Milton is barreling right to the middle of Florida.
There's going to be lots of very negative impacts there on that one.
But I heard today this. When you hear news organizations have kind of come to their senses about toning down the language for fear that, well, if we make it too big of a deal, or if we use this, quote unquote catastrophic language, we cause a panic unnecessarily. So when you are hearing catastrophic, certain death, I heard today someone say basically Tampa after this will be gone, and that we can't relate to that here.
Yeah, we can't.
We've had
pretty
storms.
mild. I mean, everything's pretty mild here.
We do complain about rain, like last week, Helene, the aftermath of that, which hit up us, and I understand it caused some flooding in different places. I get it, but we're talking about not only life-changing weather event, but life-ending weather event, and it's a horrible scenario. And I know personally, I pray for Florida. This is just, it would be, Helene happens, that's horrible. Then you have this. If this were just a standalone event, it would still be catastrophic. But the fact that it's compounding, they're still picking up. They haven't had a chance to pick up. They're now getting out.
Yeah, they're really going to have to rally together to try to see what we can do with this one. But
it's absolutely awful.
Let's go to Andy and see what's going on with sports.
Here are your local sports scores for Washington County. According to the Herald Mail, in boys soccer, Williamsport took down Smithsburg 2-1 in a close battle, while North Hagerstown battled Frederick and beat them 8-0. South Hagerstown took on Thomas Johnson, which ended in a draw of 2-2. Grace Academy and Faith Christian also ended in a draw 0-0. Cumberland Valley Christian 6, Heritage 0 in a hard-fought battle by Heritage. Middletown taking on Boonesboro 4-3. Middletown coming away the victor, and Walkersville taking down Clear Spring 2-0. In girls soccer, Smithsburg blanked Williamsport 4-0, and North Hagerstown also blanked Frederick 4-0. Middletown beat Boonesboro 2-0, while Walkersville took down Clear Spring 8-0. In volleyball, Smithsburg and Williamsport battled on the volleyball court. Smithsburg coming away the winner 3-1, while Boonesboro and Middletown also battled, Boonesboro coming away the victor 3-0. North Hagerstown took down Frederick 3-0, while South Hagerstown and Thomas Johnson battled in a close one. Coming away the winners were South Hagerstown High School from 3-2. Clear Spring took down Walkersville 3-0, while Grace Academy and Faith Christian battled, and Grace Academy coming away the winner 3-0. Hancock took on Paw Paw, also blanking Paw Paw. Hancock 3, Paw Paw nothing. Heritage came away the victor against Cumberland Valley Christian 3-1, while Mountain View and Broad Fording took on each other. While Mountain View and Broad Fording battled, and Mountain View coming away the winners 3-1. In District 1 golf, Boonesboro's Piper Meredith wins the girls' title for the second time. Congratulations, Piper Meredith. In NFL news on Monday Night Football last night, the Chiefs battled the Saints, and it was at the Chiefs Stadium, so you know how tough those games are. The Saints came away the loser. The Chiefs won 26-13, with Patrick Mahomes going 28 of 39 for 331 yards with one interception. Rushing, Kareem Hunt was the star, 27 carries, 102 yards with one touchdown, returning to his old form. Speaking of returning to old form, Juju Smith-Schuster, 7 receptions for 130 yards. This moves the Chiefs to 5-0, while the Saints fall to 2-3. In other NFL news, injuries to keep an eye on after Week 5. Quarterback Josh Allen, he hit his head pretty hard on the field and went to the medical tent to be evaluated for a concussion. Josh Allen did return to the game after only missing one snap. For Dolphins, running back Devon Achane, a possible concussion is looming. He was unable to return to the game after he was evaluated. Depending on how he responds to the concussion, he could be back after their Week 6 bye per NFL media. For the Jets, quarterback Aaron Rodgers told reporters after the loss he suffered a low ankle sprain, and it was confirmed by head coach Robert Saleh on Monday, who said his quarterback should be good to go for next week's game. The injury occurred in the third quarter when he was tackled and went down awkwardly. For the Texans, star wide receiver Nico Collins, a possible hamstring injury. Collins was ruled out for the second half with a hamstring injury, and head coach DeMeco Ryans described it as day-to-day, and there is the potential that he could miss some time per NFL media. If you're a fantasy football player, these are your fantasy players to keep an eye on for breakouts and injuries. Tank Bigsby recording career highs in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns this past Sunday. The majority of Bigsby's yards came on a 65-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, but it's notable that he had more than double the carries compared to Travis Etienne of the Jaguars. Bigsby's been on the fantasy football radar for the last few weeks because of his split time with Etienne, but Sunday feels like a turning point inside the Jacksonville offense. Bigsby now has back-to-back 90-yard rushing performances, and he is averaging 8 yards per carry through 5 games. Etienne will still be a part of the backfield, but the wise move by the Jaguar staff should be to give Bigsby more carries, and with that should come a larger roster percentage across all fantasy formats. Ty Chandler could also be the hottest future commodity on the waiver wire. Chandler took over for the injured Aaron Jones on Sunday morning. He only had 30 yards on 14 carries total for the season so far, but his role will increase if Jones' hip issue is serious. Of course, we will not know how the injury impacts the Vikings until after their Week 6 bye, but Chandler is worth the pickup now just in case Jones misses a game. Of course, even with Jones on the field, Chandler received some decent usage over the first 4 weeks. Chandler will not have the immediate fantasy impact as other running backs, but he could be more important for the next few weeks if the Vikings need him. On the tight end, pick up Tucker Kraft before it is too late. This man is on fire. The Green Bay Packers tight end scored twice on Sunday to go along with his 4 catches for 88 yards. Kraft played a larger role in the Green Bay passing game with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs out in Week 5. Kraft has 10 receptions and 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. He went over the 50-yard mark in both contests as well. He is trusted target for Jordan Love in the Packers passing game, and that's important right now since the Packers are down a few reliable pass catchers. If you're looking for a waiver wire pickup, in my opinion, this is the one to do this week if he's still available. On the other end of the tight end spectrum, Tyler Conklin has emerged as a reliable target across the middle for Aaron Rodgers. Conklin proved that yet again on Sunday with 55 yards on 6 catches. He's developed a good rapport with the Jets quarterback. He beat out Alan Lazard and Mike Williams in receptions against the Vikings. Conklin may not receive the immediate buzz that Kraft will get after Week 5, but he could make as large of an impact on fantasy football rosters. Conklin could be a valuable commodity off the waiver wire in Week 6, since so many fantasy football players will be looking for a bye-week replacement for Travis Kelce. In Major League Baseball news, the playoffs have been well underway, and the American League Division Series Game 2 for 4 teams took place last night. The Tigers beat the Guardians 3-0, tying the series at 1-1. Also, the Yankees fell to the Royals, also tying the series at 1-1. The National League Division Series games will take place tonight. Make sure you tune in to see who wins.
Come down fast lane, Hagerstown or Martinsburg. Come down fast lane. Oh, yeah. At either location, yeah, we've got great deals. And fast lane car sales can finance your wheels. Lots of late models and low mileage too. Come on. Come down fast lane. On the lot or online. Come down fast lane.
Everybody's athletic journey is different. Some athletes might find themselves injured, and others are looking to get back into their favorite activity. At Meritus Sports Medicine, our expert team will support the unique needs of athletes of all ages and levels, from youth to professional. Conveniently located at the Valley Mall, our new facility boasts leading-edge technology and the compassionate local care everyone deserves. Our expert team will develop individual treatment plans guided by the needs and goals of each athlete. To learn more, visit meritushealth.com/sportsmedicine.
Join breast cancer awareness in the fight against breast cancer at their annual Step and Stride event, sponsored by Hagerstown Honda and Kia, Saturday, October 19th at Hagerstown Community College. The morning will kick off with a one-lap survivor car parade with vehicles decked out in all things pink, followed by the opening of the route for all walkers. Register for Step and Stride now at bcainc.org. Breast cancer awareness, located in Hagerstown, Maryland, and here so that no one has to face breast cancer alone.
Saturday and Sunday, October 19th and 20th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. both days. Don't miss the Maryland International Harvester Collectors Club Chapter 39 Fall Harvest Show at Murphy Farm on Browningsville Road, Hyamsville, Maryland. Open to all tractors and trucks with kids games, pumpkin picking, barrel train rides, wagon rides, and more. Food available. Admission free, donations accepted. Show benefits Platoon 22, which supports local veterans. Details at mdihcc39.org.
Explore, discover, succeed. The area's premier learning institution is Franklin County Career and Technology Center on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Enroll now for adult education fall 2024 classes, including but not limited to pharmacy technician certification and certified nurse's assistant program. Also, welding and CNC machinist programs. Some courses may be funded through the Career Link.
All courses, descriptions, and pricing can be found at franklinctc.com under Adult Education, or contact Faye at 717-263-9033, extension 1512 for more information.
You can apply online at apply.franklinctc.com by mail or stop at the Career Tech on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Explore, discover, succeed. You can do it all right here in Franklin County. Availability limited. Enroll today.
You can apply online at apply.franklinctc by mail or stop at the Career Tech on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Pew pew! Here at Hafer's Guns, we're all about making shooting fun, but the shooting sports have so much more to offer. Things that social media and video games just don't have.
Concepts like vigilance, perseverance, discipline, and respect, just to name a few.
So when you think about your next family activity, think about the shooting sports. Think about Hafer's Guns, your one-stop gun shop. Now with 2 locations, 15411 National Pike in Hagerstown and 6541 Williamsport Pike in Falling Waters, West Virginia. Pew pew!
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro. The right windows for you, and winner of Best of the Tri-State.
We are so excited to have Jess Brindle, who is a personal friend of ours. And Jess, we just love the pep and the spunk that you bring. And we're going to talk about the Boys and Girls Club of Chambersburg and Shippensburg. Mm-hmm. But before we do, let's get to know Jess a little bit. Jess, where are you from? How did you end up here as the marketing director?
So I'm actually from Western Pennsylvania, but my family moved here whenever I was in high school. So I went to Shippensburg High School, went to Shippensburg University, and then I worked in the corporate world for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I had some kids. And after I had some kids, I decided that if I was going to go back to work, I really wanted to do something that I felt made an impact on the community. And so at that time, I actually got a job as the marketing manager for a place called Occupational Services, or OSI, in Shippensburg. So I made my way into the nonprofit world serving individuals with disabilities. And then an opportunity, after I'd been there a couple of years, an opportunity came up with the Boys and Girls Club. And now I've been here for over 3 years. I do all of the marketing. I'm the marketing director and the director of development as well. So
Do you live in Shippensburg?
I live in Chambersburg.
So when you were in Shippensburg, and even now that you're in Chambersburg, did you frequent the Shippensburg Fair? Was that always a thing?
We still go every year.
I think
yeah.
That when you're in Shippensburg, and Katy hasn't experienced this yet with you've been
haven't
I know
gone?
you've been up to the fair, but every year I host the Queen pageant at the Shippensburg Fair, going on 20 and it is just amazing.
Oh yeah.
That town just embraces that fair.
do.
That's the social scene of the week.
They do, and it rains every year.
Of course,
like
yes.
You could be like in the middle of like the Dust Bowl, and it would rain that week.
Do you remember how when you walked in, Tiny, you didn't hear this story. When you walked in, you thought that was Tiny in a suit. It was our general manager,
Well,
Blake.
I only saw you came out, and I only saw like the bottom half of him, and I thought Tiny was just following you.
Well, that's what generally happens.
You know,
yes.
like right
Like
behind
little
you,
ducks, yes.
and I was like, Tiny's in a suit? Like,
Well,
what?
I didn't get to finish my sentence because then the on-air light turned on and we had to start. But the only time I've ever seen Tiny wear a suit is when he MCs the Shippensburg Fair. That's the only time I've ever seen him in a suit.
The only time you wear a suit.
Not even at his wedding.
Is when you go to the Shippensburg Fair.
That's
like,
correct.
you know how wrong this sounds.
Well, it is,
like,
and I'm also the only one who is at the fair who is wearing a suit.
So they're probably like, are you here for an investigation? Are you?
I thought for the longest time they were playing a joke on me. It was just long run. I didn't say anything, but one year out of nowhere they say, Tiny, we thought about it. Our theme this year, I don't even remember what it was. It might have it was Bahamas, beach scene. And
so Tiny shows up in a suit, which makes sense.
Right. And they said, would you want to wear a button-up Hawaiian shirt and jeans? Yes, I would.
So did you go
insist.
to overalls the next year then, like to just?
No, it was back to a suit that year. It was a one-off thing until recently, and then it's more dressed down khakis and a nice shirt.
I couldn't imagine I mean, whenever I leave there, like I love it, but like my feet are dirty, like my shoes are dirty, my children are dirty, like all the things are dirty. So I couldn't imagine showing up in a suit.
It was so hot some years, and muggy.
I was just the pictures. I'm sorry, Tiny. I don't mean to interrupt you. But some of the pictures that would be posted on Facebook the next day of Tiny, I mean, you can see the sweat just pouring
I was
off
able
him.
when I would go backstage to change, I would always obviously have an undershirt on, and I could wring it out. That is
so gross.
It was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about something that's not gross. So tell us about the mission of the Boys and Girls Club of Chambersburg and Shippensburg.
Yeah, so the mission of the Boys and Girls Club is really just to serve all of those kids in our community. Give them a good, safe, quality place where they can go before and after school. So basically, if as parents we can't be with our kids during those non-school hours, we have a place, an opportunity where we can send them to know that someone is mentoring them, taking care of them, helping them with their homework, giving them quality activities, they're not getting into trouble, giving them that quality opportunity to have something to do other than a tablet or something like that.
What are some of the, I know you touched upon it briefly, but what are some of the activities that they can do?
So we do all kinds of things. So every day has some sort of like activity related to either like art or STEM. Sometimes there's a group called the Kindly Canines. They come in and we read to dogs. We always help with homework. So sorry, there's that little portion of homework. They always get a healthy snack. We got to get those wiggles out. So if it's nice, we go out and play some time on the playground. Just have fun. Like it's very structured, but it's very fun. And it's meant to be a place where, the kids really look forward to going. We have a couple kids that, a lot of the parents will pick up on their way home from work. But we were just talking about last week, there's a couple kids that they usually stay until the very end of the program, which ends at 6 p.m. in the evening. And I guess Dad came in and he said, buddy, I could have picked you up, 2 hours ago, but you said not to come until 6. Because you didn't want to miss anything.
When I was an educator for years, and we had a Boys and Girls Club where I was teaching in Virginia. And the kids that were enrolled in the Boys and Girls Club, they loved it. I mean, as soon as they called Boys and Girls Club, they were bolting out the door to get down to it. They really loved it.
And, it's a place where they feel like they belong. They do belong. but it's, you know, we all, like if you go to a gym or if you're in a club or, you know, there's something, and I don't mean like a boys and girls club, but like a club, like if you're in the Kiwanis or Rotary or whatever, you know, you want to have a place where like, these are my people. This is where
this is my safe space.
It's my safe space. I can wear the shirt, you know, I'm one of you, you know, and kids love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
kids love to belong.
They love to belong.
Yeah. Well, think about how many of us, when we were playing with our friends growing up, we wouldn't create a club.
Right.
And we wanted to be together. This was our exclusive club, and no one could get in.
The code word, unless you had the code word.
And Katy would never get the code word.
I never had the code word.
They would always tell her a code word, and it was the wrong code word when she got it. She's always confused about
Poor
this.
Katy.
And then we do that here, too. We'll say, Katy wants to come in the studio. Katy, what's the code word? And I've given her a word earlier in the day, and she'll say, nope, sorry, that's not it. But Tiny, you told me that was the code word.
Flashbacks to my childhood on the daily.
I want to go back to something that you just said, Jess, because tell us about this Kindly Canines.
Yeah.
What is this program about?
So there is a nonprofit group. And as far as I know, they operate all through Franklin County. And they're a group of individuals that have animals that have been certified as like therapy dogs. And so I've never seen a therapy cat. I don't know how that would, sorry.
I have one.
You have a therapy cat?
Just save it. Just save it.
Okay. So, but anyhow, so these are always dogs. So, well, they're canines. They can't be a feline.
They can't be. But
okay, so we're on to something
if you
here.
need to add cats, we can talk about that later.
So anyhow, so they bring these dogs in. They have all different kinds of dogs. It's not one sort. And they sign up for a time, and they go to all of our different clubs. And the kids just get to sit down and read to them. Sometimes, you know, we have had the situation where, you know, you have a child that maybe is a little less verbal than some of the other children. But when they sit with those dogs, like they'll sit and they'll start communicating with them in whatever way works for them. So, you know, it's really just meant to be, the dog doesn't talk back like Tiny does. So, you know, like if you want to read the book, that's cool. If you want to just sit and chat or whatever, you can do whatever. And they're handlers, they're caregivers, they're there to bring the dog. You know, it's all about those furry friends whenever they're there. It's awesome.
Yeah, I would too.
Amazing.
As I was an educator, and I know how students will get so nervous reading to their peers or to their teacher. It's a totally different ball game when you have an animal next to you and you feel so comfortable.
I think I feel.
And the voices come out, and all of a sudden they're reading so well. That's a really, really great program.
It's really cool.
That. And what are the ages of the boys and the girls that you service at the club?
So during the school year, we service K through 5th grade. So we're mainly at that elementary school age. In Shippensburg, it's elementary and intermediate because they're set up a little bit differently. But in the summertime, we run an 8-week summer camp program, and we serve kids K through 8th grade. And obviously for that program, the middle school kids, the things they do are a little bit different than the things that the younger kids do. We make it age appropriate, and and they all just have a great time. So, and they all interact with each other. You kind of, during summer camp, especially whenever you have the program that does include both age groups, while they do things separately, they do things together. And then you can kind of watch that whole like friendship with the older kid thing, and it's really cool. Like growing up, I didn't have any siblings. So, and where I lived, we didn't have anything like this. And I mean, it was the early 90s. So, but to have had something like this where I could have found like that little bit of an older role model, or even just, I went home, and if my neighbors weren't outside playing, like it was just me. And we had a dog, but he kind of just did his thing. But like it was.
So you weren't reading to him?
No.
You tried to, but
you got to remember, this was the late 80s, early 90s. That dog lived outside.
That's true.
This dog did not live.
That did happen a lot when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
It's apparently illegal now. I don't know. But
the husbands can still be in the doghouse.
Maybe it depends on the breed.
Maybe. I don't know. I was just reading about that the other day. There's some law where you can't leave your dog chained outside it was like a whole thing. And I was like, I didn't realize that. And whenever I was a kid, I mean, this dog never, ever went in the house. Not ever, not once. Mm-hmm. He would go in the garage, like if there was a really bad snowstorm or something. But other than that,
outside
dog.
How does someone qualify for the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, so anybody can come.
Anybody, okay.
Yeah, and you have to be within that during the school program, your child has to be enrolled at the school that the program is at. So, but during summer camp, anybody within those age that age group can apply and attend. We do have a small fee that families pay. We really believe in the social responsibility piece. We are held to a standard of a ratio for our leaders to our kids, and we fill all of those spots, and so we go to wait list. And so, we need to know that the people who sign their kids up, their kids are coming and using that spot, as much as they can. So we do have that level of social responsibility, but it's on a sliding scale. So it's meant so that anybody can afford it. And if somebody can't, we work with them. Because, these kids, their futures matter. And what they do today is going to impact what you do 10 years from now. You're going to meet people and have conversations, and things are going to stick with you that form as a young person things that you want to do in your life. Maybe a kid might come to Boys and Girls Club, and sometimes we have special guests or speakers come in, and they might talk about fishing, or they might talk about running or yoga or whatever it is that is special. But that might be the only time in their childhood that they have the opportunity to learn about something like that. And so with those new opportunities, we're really helping to form and develop those children. Someday, I hope to retire. It's probably not anytime soon. Well, it's definitely
a lofty ambition.
It's a long way from here.
You should pursue it.
Right? Maybe we'll get there someday. But we have to know that we've raised these children up to become our future leaders, because someday they will be. Mm-hmm. And we need to know that we're moving in the direction where we're leaving the future of our communities in qualified hands.
Sure.
And we can, if we do the work now with the kids and young adults and sometimes the adults around us, to build our community to make it stronger. We're all a part of that. Mm-hmm. And if we all work together, we're going to get so much further. Even as nonprofits, there are lots of things that the Boys and Girls Club can do, but there are areas where other nonprofits, where it's their thing, So, we encourage our kids to. There's a program called Go Girls Go through Healthy Communities Partnership, and whenever that program is at the schools that our kids are at, that there's an overlap that they can attend, we encourage them to do that. So, and they can still attend our program whenever that program ends at 5:00, and then they can still come to club if they want to. Or if during those couple weeks, if it makes sense for them to just do that, that's cool too. But, however we can work together, everyone brings what they're good at and makes it a really neat experience. The Cumberland Valley School of Music, they come in the spring and they do a chorus, a choir program with the kids.
That's great.
And so, some kids, again, they might not have an opportunity to, in school you're going to, but maybe depending on what that looks and feels like, it might not be a comfort zone, mm-hmm. but they bring that program in, and it's something unique and something different.
And it's in a smaller group setting where you're not doing a whole auditorium with all your peers.
Exactly. And so it's more comfortable. But, it's just about working with other nonprofits, working with other individuals in the community that can bring full circle everything mm-hmm. that we need to provide this. It's really about that full experience of everything there is to know and do in the community, and however we can provide access to that for the kids we want to.
I love, Jess, when you speak about the Boys and Girls Club, you have so much passion.
Yeah, you light up.
You can really feel it. When you think back, how long have you been the marketing director there?
It's been a little over 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you think of a time or a particular student or child whose life was really impacted by the Boys and Girls Club that really stands out?
Yeah. So we have a girl. She's at one of our clubs, and she has been with us since even before I started the club. She's in 5th grade this year, and I believe she started with us whenever she was in 1st grade.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And her family situation, she lives with grandma, and grandma works, and grandma, whenever she first got into elementary school, grandma learned about the Boys and Girls Club, and she enrolled her in the club with us. And so she's kind of grown up with us the whole mm-hmm. time. And, grandma needs us as much as that little girl does, because grandma is able to know that after school that she goes down to club, that she's going to get a healthy snack. She's safe. Mm-hmm. She's going to have help with her homework. She's going to spend time with friends. And she's just learning all of those things within that group environment of being like that good human being. Like we want to raise good humans, you know? And kind of to tie into her story, so last year, so I don't work in the clubs every day, but I'm there frequently. And we were there we were going to do something special, but when we got there, they were finishing up this game of bingo. And the little girl I was telling you about, she was sitting next to another child, and she was just about at bingo. Like her card was lined up, she was just waiting for one. And you could see it in her, like, I just need this one more spot, and I'm going to win this whole thing. And like you can see it, and she's saying it, and about that same moment, the little boy next to her is like, bingo! And like, if you know, you guys both know little kids, you're thinking in your head like, oh no, this is about the, you know, and we all kind of braced ourselves. And in our moment of like awe and wonder, she looked at him and she's like, good job. Aww. You did great. You got bingo. High five. Wow. And we all took that collective like,
I've played bingo and seen people play bingo who've experienced that same thing, and it did not turn out that way.
Right.
Grown adults.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And my aunts would throw things at each other if it happened.
You know, did they get thrown out?
No, they did not get thrown out. They probably should have. So let's wrap this up here, our interview today. I hate to do that, but I want to talk about this. Is there anything going on with the Boys and Girls Club for Halloween?
Halloween, we don't really have much planned for Halloween.
Maybe, how about at home? What about at home with Halloween?
Oh, at home? Oh my gosh, my kids love Halloween. My personal children.
How old are your children?
So, yeah, they're 9 and 7. Well, he's turning 9 in 2 weeks, but we'll call him 9 because he would tell you that. I'm 9. So 9 and 7, and we're so excited. My 9-year-old's really into Minecraft and building and farming and all of those things. He's got big dreams. The Shippensburg Fair has had a huge impact on the child.
Naturally.
Must
have been the guy in the suit.
Right?
Doubt it highly.
And my younger son, he is going to be a toilet.
A toilet?
A toilet.
Commode.
A commode, yes.
When you tell people about that, do you get a little flush?
Well, we were at home. We were back in Johnstown visiting my grandparents who are 89 last weekend, and they were like, "Oh, guess what we're gonna be for Halloween?" And Luke's like, "I'm gonna be a toilet," and everyone like you could see the moment of like, and then like that. Of course you are, you know. So, but he was really disappointed when it came because it's kind of this like.
There's a costume that they make.
I figured
as a toilet.
Yeah, I bought it off of. Can I plug the store or not do that? So I bought it off of Walmart.com. You can buy it. It is more child size, so it wouldn't fit us quite as well.
So more like a bidet.
Yeah. So no, it doesn't have bidet. So
we don't know unless we try it out,
right?
Jess.
So, but it's this cloth thing, and you put it over your head, and it's kind of like boxy shaped. And in the front is the toilet. But he was really disappointed because he was convinced that when he got this thing, he was going to be able to put the candy in there. So he picked it because he thought that he was going to put the candy in the toilet. But it does have a lifting lid. And he also has
pictures of this.
Oh, I will share. Yeah. He also has a poop emoji puppet. And so he walks around with the poop emoji and and he goes like this, like the poop's going in the toilet.
I'm afraid to ask this follow-up question. What is your other child going as?
Oh, the Minecraft character.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what the name of it's the green guy that you think of when you think of Minecraft.
The block or whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince my husband to be a roll of toilet paper.
And then what are you going to be?
Oh, I don't participate. I'm the tired mom. I will drag myself behind them with my cup of coffee.
You could do your hair crazy and be the brush.
I'm out. No.
I would like to actually join this family.
Oh, yeah, me too. That would be fun.
Allow me to put together a costume and follow you guys around when you go.
You're welcome to join.
I love that.
Oh, Jess, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that.
And coming up here in just a couple minutes on Let's Talk Tri-State, we're going to take a look at news and sports, all powered by 2A Arms, LLC in Pennsylvania, Firearms and Freedom.
Kevin Kugler here from Westwood One. Join me along with Super Bowl player and head coach Ron Rivera for Thursday Night Football this week when Geno Smith and the Seahawks host Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. It's Seattle's first NFC West game of the season, while the 49ers are looking for their first division win in 3 tries. Don't miss any of the action. coming up on Thursday Night Football.
Listen on 92 on the GOAT and 92onthegoat.com. Need to get airborne to finish your current project? Franklin Equipment Rental can help. Rent forklifts, scissor lifts, extended reach forklifts, telescopic booms, and more. With 25 years experience, they know what you need. Take advantage of their weekend special and get 2.5 days work for the price of one. Or rent by the day, week, or month. Open Monday through Friday, 3110 Philadelphia Avenue, Chambersburg. Online at franklinequipmentrental.com. Their job is to make your job easier.
My car looks as good as the day I bought it.
Well, everyone says the Rain Tunnel is the only car wash they use.
Have you been to the Rain Tunnel lately? Customers are raving about the next generation ceramic you can only get at the Rain Tunnel. Stop by and see why. Ask about the Wash Club too. It's a great way to save money. For the best shine around, use the Rain Tunnel Car Wash, Orchard Drive, Chambersburg, and on Lincoln Way East. Learn more at theraintunnelwash.com.
Shelters are full across the country, and the Humane Society of Washington County is no exception. Hundreds of animals are in care between the shelter and foster homes. They need your help. Please consider adopting a pet or volunteer. Help walk dogs, wash and fold laundry, distribute food from the pet food bank. Have a garage, warehouse, barn, or other suitable shelter? Adopt a working cat. You can save a life. Adopt a pet from the Humane Society of Washington County, and remember to have your pets spayed or neutered. Learn more ways to help at hswcmd.org.
You know your car.
My Mitzi takes premium and a wash once a month.
Or at least you think you do.
Old Hank has a double Buford throttle Hemi.
But if you're lacking the space or the tools to work on your baby...
What about the know-how?
That too. Then our garage is for you.
Danny's Garage, your local Volkswagen and Audi specialist with over 45 years of experience. Stop in and see why the tri-state area trusts Danny's to get their Volkswagen and Audi right and back on the road in no time. Stop by Denny's Garage in Quincy today.
We're speaking with Josh Dahl, certified nurse practitioner and owner of Virtus Men's Health in Hagerstown.
We are a full-service men's clinic that take care of pretty much any issue that a man may have related to erectile issues, low testosterone, weight gain and or loss, and just trying to be as optimal as they can throughout their life. And we can certainly provide those services and give the guys the edge to still be active and live that full, healthy lifestyle and continue to do the things that they like to do.
At what age do you say, well, you could seek help with Virtus Men's Health?
I would say the majority of the clients we're going to service are probably going to be between the age of 35 and 70.
Josh Dahl, certified nurse practitioner and owner of Virtus Men's Health, Morgan's Avenue in Hagerstown. Online, virtusmenshealth.com. Josh, what do you say to the guy who might find these topics embarrassing?
We're happy to be able to talk to you about that and really give you a detailed explanation and be that person that can relate to your problems and really help move you forward in a good, positive direction.
Lizzie's Restaurant on Buchanan Trail West is open 7 days a week for takeout and dine-in service. Their famous Pink Sunday is here for the whole month of October, supporting breast cancer awareness. Vanilla soft serve topped with strawberries, strawberry-infused whipped cream, and finished with their pink dusted ribbon. 100% of the proceeds from this Sunday goes directly to the BCA in October. You can also round up your purchase or simply donate to support the BCA. Visit Lizzie's on Buchanan Trail West in Greencastle for your Pink Sunday this month. Lizzie's, the way you like it.
Be part of Hagerstown's Halloween legacy. Be a mummer. The 97th annual Alsatia Mummers Parade steps off at 6 p.m. Saturday, October 26th. It's family-friendly fun for all ages with spectacular costumes and creative floats, live music, treats, and surprises. Join this spirited community event and celebrate your group or organization. Entry deadline is midnight, October 11th. For entry forms, limited edition merch, sponsor information, or tickets, follow on Facebook or visit AlsatiaClubInc.com.
The Candy Bowl poll is back. Sweet Notes Bakery and the town of Williamsport Main Street want to know, what is your favorite Halloween candy? Vote today at 92onthegoat.com for your chance to win a $100 Visa gift card. Go to the best Halloween candy bracket on the website and vote for your favorite Halloween candy today. It's easy, and you could win a $100 Visa gift card. Fill your calendar this fall with visits to the town of Williamsport for ghost walks, shopping, and more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State. Tiny, take us through today's headlines.
Well, Katie, one thing that I think has been on everyone's mind lately is I-81. I-81 through Maryland into Pennsylvania, of course, it's a nightmare.
To say the least.
To say the least. Seems like every week there's at least one horrendous accident that ties up 81. And we look at it from a standpoint of how does it affect us. Our traffic was backed up. Sadly, more times than not, it means the loss of a life, which leads to these just horrendous backups. Well, there may be some good news and relief coming, at least for the Maryland portion of 81, which oftentimes is just as bad as the PA portion.
Go on.
Last Friday, we had a massive backup.
Oh, yes.
And I think I-81 was shut down for like 19 hours in Maryland. So what happened was that very day, Governor Westmore was in town for something unrelated. So they wound up having kind of an impromptu meeting and wound up discussing the widening of 81 in Maryland. And Governor Westmore said that this is a project that needs to get done. I could not agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
With him more.
Absolutely.
I mean, don't tell me we don't have the money for it. We have the money for it. Let's put it to good use. I can't think of a better use. I think what's happening is that we have so many distribution facilities, warehouse facilities, so there's a lot of trucks on I-81.
Yeah, it's a huge hub for tractor trailers. Absolutely.
Exactly. So and the 70-81 interchange being right there, I think one of the big issues you have is, sure, we can widen it, and I think that we should. It's a worthy cause. The issue that I have is if you keep adding all of these warehouses, these businesses, which there's plans to do that.
We're just going to keep getting more congested.
You're going to keep filling it up.
Right.
So then you have, instead of 2 lanes of backed up potential, car crashes, then you have 3 lanes of backed up potential car crashes. I don't know that there's an answer to it ultimately, but certainly something needs to be done, and I think this is the first thing that we can.
That's great. It's good to hear. Something else that I think is really on everybody's mind is the Hurricane Milton. That's, we're just starting to recover from Helene, and now we're hearing about Hurricane Milton, but this has the potential to become one of the most destructive hurricanes on record for West Central Florida, which is just devastating. I mean, they're just getting over what just happened with Helene. But this includes the Tampa area, and millions of residents are preparing for the impacts and evacuating the coast. I don't know if you saw the videos of the evacuation. And
speaking of traffic jams,
right?
for this calls, but I saw today, and I know a lot of our viewers and listeners have homes in Florida, and they may have been getting them ready to visit them, and snowbirds, we call them around here, to head down there. Plans are obviously changing. I was watching the news today and seeing some of that same video, and words like devastation, practically certain death, storm of the century, once in 100 years, the storm surge, the storm wall reaching about 12 feet, and the projection that they have of the path of this storm literally is all encompassing of Central Florida, and it is an even split. But there's not even a lot of these hurricanes, they kind of go up and clip the coast. So they might hit somewhat inland, or they'll be in the Gulf Coast, but they kind of disperse. This one has as you said, Central Florida. This one has it set in its sights.
Yeah,
Milton is barreling right to the middle of Florida.
There's going to be lots of very negative impacts there on that one.
But I heard today when you hear news organizations have kind of come to their senses about toning down the language for fear that, well, if we make it too big of a deal, or if we use this, quote unquote catastrophic language, we cause a panic unnecessarily. So when you are hearing catastrophic, certain death, I heard today someone say basically Tampa after this will be gone, and that we can't relate to that here.
Yeah, we can't.
We've had
pretty
storms.
mild. I mean, everything's pretty mild here.
We do complain about rain, like last week, Helene, the aftermath of that, which hit up us. And I understand it caused some flooding in different places. I get it, but we're talking about not only life-changing weather event, but life-ending weather event, and it's a horrible scenario. And I know personally, I pray for Florida. This is just. It would be, Helene happens, that's horrible. Then you have this. If this were just a standalone event, it would still be catastrophic. But the fact that it's compounding, they're still picking up. They haven't had a chance to pick up. They're now getting out.
Yeah, they're really going to have to rally together to try to see what we can do with this one. But
it's absolutely awful.
Let's go to Andy and see what's going on with sports.
Here's your local Franklin County, Pennsylvania sports roundup for last night, Monday, October 7th, according to the sports page. Greencastle Antrim took down Gettysburg in girls soccer. The Blue Devils defense was up to the task Monday night, and the offense did just enough to create a Mid-Penn Colonial victory on the road. Greencastle now has its record standing at 10-3-1 and 9-1-1 in the MPC, while the Warriors are now 7-6-1 and 6-6-1 in the MPC. The teams tied 2-2 in an earlier meeting. The difference on the scoreboard happened in the first half when the Blue Devils were awarded a penalty kick, and Callie Iser stepped up and scored the goal. Greencastle goalkeeper Lexi Nelson made 4 saves to earn the shutout, her 7th of the season. Greencastle Antrim also took down Northern York in girls volleyball. The Blue Devils made quick work of the Polar Bears, rolling up scores of 25-13, 25-11, and 25-15 with a Mid-Penn Colonial match Monday evening in a home match. For Greencastle, now 14-2, Elenia Garling was all over the stat sheet. She put up 7 kills, 11 service points, 2 of them aces, 7 digs, and 10 assists. Ren Roberts was also versatile with 8 kills, 13 points, 3 blocks, and 6 digs. Abby Agler had 7 kills and 7 digs, while Addison Miller added and scored for 8 points. Caitlin Alvey also had 8 points with 2 aces, and Morgan Klein had 12 digs, and Kylie Kearns assisted on 10 points. Northern is now 6-8. In boys soccer, Gettysburg took down Greencastle Antrim 4-1. The Blue Devils ran into a tough customer in the Warriors. They trailed 1-0 at the half, but ended up falling 4-1 in a Mid-Penn Colonial match at Cayley Field on Monday night. Gettysburg 14-1, 12-1 in the MPC, outshot Greencastle 4-10 and 4-8. Outshot Greencastle, who is now 4-10, 4-8 in the MPC. Gettysburg with 20 shots, Greencastle only with 6. Eli Christoffel scored the Blue Devils goal with an assist going to Cooper Noblet. Carey said Joey Lofton had a really nice game. In Franklin County, Pennsylvania, girls volleyball, Chambersburg took down Cedar Cliff 3-0. Chambersburg now stands at 13-3, 7-3 in the MPC, ranked number 6 in a District 3 Class 4A division. They scored wins of 25-19, 25-19, and 26-24 over Cedar Cliff. It's a big road win for us, Trojan coach Ty Freeland said. We got down early in the first set, but we never gave up. Riley Evans led the team in 2 categories, kills with 10 and blocks with 4. In girls soccer, Penn Manor beat Chambersburg 2-0. The Comets of Penn Manor scored in the 28th minute off a set piece and added an insurance tally in the final minute to pick up a non-league win in Millersville over the Trojans on Monday night. In field hockey, Carlisle taking down Chambersburg 3-1. The Herd picked up a Mid-Penn Commonwealth victory at home Monday night over the Chambersburg Trojans. Chambersburg now stands at 1-12 and 0-12 in the MPC, while Carlisle is 6-10. The Trojans scored their goal in the game's last 5 minutes. Marla Costello scored the goal with an assist going to Reagan Barrett. In Washington County, your schedule for this evening, Tuesday, October 8th, flag football taking place. Clear Spring at Smithsburg starting at 5 p.m. South Hagerstown taking on Thomas Johnson at 5:30, while there's boys soccer from Broadfording and Heritage at 4:15 p.m. Girls soccer, Brunswick and Boonesboro take on each other at Boonesboro at 7 p.m., while volleyball, Grace Academy and Bishop Walsh take each other on at 4:30 p.m., and Heritage versus St. James at 5 p.m. Tonight in the Major League Baseball playoffs, the Phillies take on the New York Mets in New York at 5:08 for Game 3 of the NLDS. The series is currently tied 1-1. And the Dodgers are going to take on the San Diego Padres in San Diego at 9:08 p.m. for Game 3 of the NLDS. The National League Division Series is tied at 1-1.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, winner of Best of the Tri-State Award.
We are not ready just yet to let Jess go because we love her so much, but we just got to talking so much about the Halloween costumes and the toilets and everything, but I realized
the natural conversations that you
Obviously.
would have in a setting like this.
And I realized we didn't get a chance to talk about Santa for the Boys and Girls Club of Chambersburg and Shippensburg. So take a couple minutes and walk us through that.
Okay, so last year we brought back a old tradition from downtown Chambersburg of Santa's Shed. So we renamed it this year. It's called Santa's Clubhouse. And we have actually partnered with Morgan Beck of Coldwell Bank and Brad Beck. He builds custom trailers, and together with them we are building a mobile Santa shed, mobile Santa's clubhouse. I keep doing it. That we're going to take.
That'll be a long time till you get over that. I think.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so too. I'm working on it. But so we're going to be taking this to a number of events throughout Chambersburg and Shippensburg in the coming months. So we are planning to have a day where we are at Grace Gardens. We're going to plan a day where we're downtown. We're planning, we're working on an event in Shippensburg that we're going to do right now. And basically what it is, it's a free event for the community thanks to our sponsors. Real PD is our grand sponsor. Again, this year, he was our grand sponsor last year. And then some additional sponsors that have come along with us to put this on. But it's for the kids, to bring them joy and to give families something to look forward to. Back in the 90s, they did the same thing. You know, whenever it was there, the families would come out together in the evenings or whenever, you know, like Saturday afternoon and visit Santa, tell him what you're looking for Christmas. If you know, Santa is maybe not your family's thing, we'll have some different activities where Santa's friends are joining us at the clubhouse to make it good for everybody. We have some friends that do some different characters, and so we'll have them in. But we're really just looking forward to it. You know, we love that joy that it brings into the community. You know, a lot of people with all the different things that are going on, you know, in the nation right now, they need that extra little bit of joy. So we are still looking for some sponsors. So if any businesses out there would like to join us in sponsorship, the exposure that they get from this event is just incredible.
And if you come to the clubhouse and get your photos, is that a free event?
It is, yeah. So last year we had a situation where people came and we actually provided them with a printed copy of their photo that they could pick up later. But we found that people really enjoyed coming and taking the phone with their cell phone and just having it.
Sure.
And I think that it was that, you know, they wanted it right then. They wanted to be able to share it on their socials. They wanted to be able to put it on their Christmas card. So we're giving you that opportunity. Come. Of course, we'll take your donation if you'd like to give us one, because we definitely, you know, this is a community-supported organization. But this particular event, while it is a fundraiser, it is a good old-fashioned Christmas joy for the community event.
These are the moments, these are the events that I think most times when you ask people to list off their fondest memories, probably 9 times out of 10, it is something involving the holidays.
Yeah.
These are those moments that you wouldn't expect that you are providing those for people. Oh, I remember because I remember growing up in Hagerstown when Santa used to come to the Longmeadow Shopping Center, and he was in a shed at that point. And that was a big to do. Hundreds of people would show up on the first night, and then Mrs. Claus would walk around with punch and cookies. And you're right, when you think of those times, it does take everything else that's going on that's the negative and really just put something positive and good right at the top of our minds. So good on you for that. That's gonna be great.
And we will have, you know, an evening like that where it's the cookies and the hot cocoa and the, you know, just...
And a toilet walking around.
No, we are not taking the toilet to Christmas.
Well, you know, speaking of joy, Jess, you've been a joy.
Yes,
Thank you so much for joining us on Let's Talk Tri-State. Before we wrap up, how can people donate, volunteer, get involved?
If people would like to give, get involved, donate, the best way to reach out to us is to go to our website. It's www.bgccs.org, Boys, Girls Club, Chambersburg, Shippensburg.
Got it.
Got it. You know, you can go on there, and there's a contact form. Our email are clickable. Like, follow us on Facebook. Facebook is great, and we post all of our events on Facebook too. So, and you know, like we're out there. So when you see us, when you see me, say hi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Coming up next on Let's Talk Tri-State, we'll take another look at local news and sports, all sponsored by DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development.
Our Bruce Carson Jewelers invites you to our exclusive estate jewelry event featuring the Madison Estate. We will have an amazing selection of timeless pieces from the Victorian, Edwardian, Art Deco, and retro periods, plus contemporary treasures and exotic gems. These are one-of-a-kind pieces that are sure to fit any price range. This beautiful estate collection will be here for 3 days only on Thursday, October 17th, Friday, October 18th, and Saturday, October 19th. Our Bruce Carson Jewelers, making timeless memories since 1902.
Bob Casey supported sanctuary city policies that let criminal illegal immigrants onto our streets instead of deporting them. Casey voted over and over again to fund sanctuary cities, making our neighborhoods less safe. After an illegal alien was arrested for domestic assault in Philadelphia, instead of deporting him, they let him go. Thanks to sanctuary city policies Bob Casey supported. That same criminal, released under the radical policy Casey voted for, went on to repeatedly rape a 5-year-old girl. It could have been prevented. It should have been prevented. But Bob Casey failed us. The U.S. attorney said this young girl was raped because of Philadelphia's sanctuary city policy. Bob Casey voted over and over for this madness, putting our families, our children, at risk. We've had enough of Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Are you currently medically uninsured? Uninsured citizens are healthier and more productive through free access to health care. Are you currently a citizen of Washington County, Maryland?
Hi, I'm Nicole, Executive Director of the Community Free Clinic. We can help those in need of physical or mental health care, including prescription medicine and lab services. Services are not based on income. Most services are free to qualifying patients. Are you currently medically uninsured? If you need physical or mental health care, learn if you qualify at mycommunityfreeclinic.org.
It's that time of year again. Chambersburg Waste Paper is back with its 3rd annual Halloween party. Friday, October 25th from 6 to 9 p.m. There's a haunted hayride, a kids inflatable wagon ride, costume contest, candy giveaway, DJ, and of course, delicious food. Plus, free pumpkins for everyone. New this year, we'll have a haunted house. Last year was amazing, and we can't thank you enough for your support. So grab your friends, your family, and your best costumes, and come out for a spectacular evening of fun. Mark your calendars for the spookiest night of the season at CWP, Friday, October 25th.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State. Tiny, take us through today's headlines.
Well, Katie, one thing that I think has been on everyone's mind lately is I-81. I-81 through Maryland into Pennsylvania, of course, it's a nightmare.
To say the least.
To say the least. Seems like every week there's at least one horrendous accident that ties up 81. And we look at it from a standpoint of how does it affect us? Mm-hmm. Our traffic was backed up. Sadly, more times than not, it means the loss of a life, which leads to these just horrendous backups. Well, there may be some good news and relief coming, at least for the Maryland portion of 81, which oftentimes is just as bad as the PA portion.
Go on.
Last Friday, we had a massive backup.
Oh, yes.
And I think I-81 was shut down for like 19 hours in Maryland. So what happened was that very day, Governor Westmore was in town for something unrelated. So they wound up having kind of an impromptu meeting and wound up discussing the widening of 81 in Maryland. And Governor Westmore said that this is a project that needs to get done. I could not agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
With him more.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's don't tell me we don't have the money for it. We have the money for it. Let's put it to good use. I can't think of a better use. I think what's happening is that we have so many distribution facilities, warehouse facilities, so there's a lot of trucks on I-81.
Yeah, it's a huge hub for tractor trailers, absolutely.
Exactly. So and the 70-81 interchange being right there, I think one of the big issues you have is, sure, we can widen it, and I think that we should. It's a worthy cause. The issue that I have is if you keep adding all of these warehouses, these businesses, which there's plans to do that.
We're just going to keep getting more congested.
You're going to keep filling it up.
Right.
So then you have, instead of 2 lanes of backed up potential, car crashes, then you have 3 lanes of backed up potential car crashes. I don't know that there's an answer to it ultimately, but certainly something needs to be done, and I think this is the first thing that we can.
That's great.
Done.
It's good to hear. Something else that I think is really on everybody's mind is the Hurricane Milton. That's, we're just starting to recover from Helene, and now we're hearing about Hurricane Milton. But this has the potential to become one of the most destructive hurricanes on record for West Central Florida, which is just devastating. I mean, they're just getting over what just happened with Helene. But this includes the Tampa area, and millions of residents are preparing for the impacts and evacuating the coast. I don't know if you saw the videos of the evacuation. And
speaking of traffic jams,
right,
for this calls, but I saw today, and I know a lot of our viewers and listeners have homes in Florida, and they may have been getting them ready to visit them, and snowbirds, we call them around here, to head down there. Mm-hmm. Plans are obviously changing. I was watching the news today and seeing some of that same video, and words like devastation, practically certain death, storm of the century, once in 100 years, the storm surge, the storm wall reaching about 12 feet, and the projection that they have of the path of this storm literally is all encompassing of Central Florida, and it is an even split. But there's not even a lot of these hurricanes they kind of go up and clip the coast, so they might hit somewhat inland, or they'll be in the Gulf Coast, but they kind of disperse. This one has south, as you said, Central Florida. This one has it set in its sights.
Yeah,
I mean, Milton is barreling right to the middle of
Florida. There's going to be lots of very negative impacts there on that one. But
I heard today this, when you hear news organizations have kind of come to their senses about toning down the language for fear that, well, if we make it too big of a deal, or if we use this, quote unquote catastrophic language, we cause a panic unnecessarily. So when you are hearing catastrophic, certain death, I heard today someone say basically Tampa after this will be gone, and that we can't relate to that here.
Yeah, we can't.
We've had
pretty
storms.
mild. I mean, everything's pretty mild here.
We do complain about rain, like last week, Helene, the aftermath of that, which hit up us, and I understand it caused some flooding in different places. I get it, but we're talking about not only life-changing weather event, but life-ending weather event. And it's a horrible scenario, and I know personally, I pray for Florida. This is just, it would be, Helene happens, that's horrible. Then you have this. If this were just a standalone event, it would still be catastrophic. But the fact that it's compounding, they're still picking up. They haven't had a chance to pick up. They're now getting out.
Yeah, they're really going to have to rally together to try to see what we can do with this one. But
it's absolutely awful.
Let's go to Andy and see what's going on with sports.
Here are your local sports scores for Washington County. According to the Herald Mail, in boys soccer, Williamsport took down Shippensburg 2-1 in a close battle, while North Hagerstown battled Frederick and beat them 8-0. South Hagerstown took on Thomas Johnson, which ended in a draw of 2-2. Grace Academy and Faith Christian also ended in a draw 0-0. Cumberland Valley Christian 6, Heritage 0 in a hard-fought battle by Heritage. Middletown taking on Boonesboro 4-3. Middletown coming away the victor, and Walkersville taking down Clear Spring 2-0. In girls soccer, Smithsburg blanked Williamsport 4-0, and North Hagerstown also blanked Frederick 4-0. Middletown beat Boonesboro 2-0, while Walkersville took down Clear Spring 8-0. In volleyball, Smithsburg and Williamsport battled on the volleyball court. Smithsburg coming away the winner 3-1, while Boonesboro and Middletown also battled. Boonesboro coming away the victor 3-0. North Hagerstown took down Frederick 3-0, while South Hagerstown and Thomas Johnson battled in a close one. Coming away the winners were South Hagerstown High School from 3-2. Clear Spring took down Walkersville 3-0, while Grace Academy and Faith Christian battled, and Grace Academy coming away the winner 3-0. Hancock took on Paw Paw, also blanking Paw Paw. Hancock 3, Paw Paw 0. Heritage came away the victor against Cumberland Valley Christian 3-1, while Mountain View and Broad Fording took on each other, while Mountain View and Broad Fording battled, and Mountain View coming away the winners 3-1. In District 1 golf, Boonesboro's Piper Meredith wins the girls' title for the second time. Congratulations, Piper Meredith. In NFL news, on Monday Night Football last night, the Chiefs battled the Saints, and it was at the Chiefs Stadium, so you know how tough those games are. The Saints came away the loser. The Chiefs won 26-13, with Patrick Mahomes going 28 of 39 for 331 yards with 1 interception. Rushing, Kareem Hunt was the star, 27 carries, 102 yards with 1 touchdown, returning to his old form. Speaking of returning to old form, Juju Smith-Schuster, 7 receptions for 130 yards. This moves the Chiefs to 5-0, while the Saints fall to 2-3. In other NFL news, injuries to keep an eye on after Week 5. Quarterback Josh Allen, he hit his head pretty hard on the field and went to the medical tent to be evaluated for a concussion. Josh Allen did return to the game after only missing 1 snap. For Dolphins running back Devon Achane, a possible concussion is looming. He was unable to return to the game after he was evaluated. Depending on how he responds to the concussion, he could be back after their Week 6 bye per NFL media. For the Jets, quarterback Aaron Rodgers told reporters after the loss he suffered a low ankle sprain, and it was confirmed by head coach Robert Saleh on Monday, who said his quarterback should be good to go for next week's game. The injury occurred in the third quarter when he was tackled and went down awkwardly. For the Texans, star wide receiver Nico Collins, a possible hamstring injury. Collins was ruled out for the second half with a hamstring injury, and head coach D'Amico Ryans described it as day-to-day, and there is the potential that he could miss some time per NFL media. If you're a fantasy football player, these are your fantasy players to keep an eye on for breakouts and injuries. Tank Bigsby recording career highs in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns this past Sunday. The majority of Bigsby's yards came on a 65-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, but it's notable that he had more than double the carries compared to Travis Etienne of the Jaguars. Bigsby's been on the fantasy football radar for the last few weeks because of his split time with Etienne, but Sunday feels like a turning point inside the Jacksonville offense. Bigsby now has back-to-back 90-yard rushing performances, and he is averaging 8 yards per carry through 5 games. Etienne will still be a part of the backfield, but the wise move by the Jaguars staff should be to give Bigsby more carries, and with that should come a larger roster percentage across all fantasy formats. Ty Chandler could also be the hottest future commodity on the waiver wire. Chandler took over for the injured Aaron Jones on Sunday morning. He only had 30 yards on 14 carries total for the season so far, but his role will increase if Jones' hip issue is serious. Of course, we will not know how the injury impacts the Vikings until after their Week 6 bye, but Chandler is worth the pickup now just in case Jones misses a game. Of course, even with Jones on the field, Chandler received some decent usage over the first 4 weeks. Chandler will not have the immediate fantasy impact as other running backs, but he could be more important for the next few weeks if the Vikings need him. On the tight end, pick up Tucker Kraft before it is too late. This man is on fire. The Green Bay Packers tight end scored twice on Sunday to go along with his 4 catches for 88 yards. Kraft played a larger role in the Green Bay passing game with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs out in Week 5. Kraft has 10 receptions and 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. He went over the 50-yard mark in both contests as well. He is trusted target for Jordan Love in the Packers passing game, and that's important right now since the Packers are down a few reliable pass catchers. If you're looking for a waiver wire pickup, in my opinion, this is the one to do this week if he's still available. On the other end of the tight end spectrum, Tyler Conklin has emerged as a reliable target across the middle for Aaron Rodgers. Conklin proved that yet again on Sunday with 55 yards on 6 catches. He's developed a good rapport with the Jets quarterback. He beat out Allen Lazard and Mike Williams in receptions against the Vikings. Conklin may not receive the immediate buzz that Kraft will get after Week 5, but he could make as large of an impact on fantasy football rosters. Conklin could be a valuable commodity off the waiver wire in Week 6, since so many fantasy football players will be looking for a bye-week replacement for Travis Kelce. In Major League Baseball news, the playoffs have been well underway, and the American League Division Series Game 2 for 4 teams took place last night. The Tigers beat the Guardians 3-0, tying the series at 1-1. Also, the Yankees fell to the Royals, also tying the series at 1-1. The National League Division Series games will take place tonight. Make sure you tune in to see who wins.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice. And they were winner of Best of the Tri-State.
And we are here with our dear friends from the United Way of Franklin County with Amy Hicks, who is the Executive Director, and Kelly Frazier, you're the Community Engagement Director?
Officer.
Oh, excuse me, officer. So do people call you, like, the reference you as officer? Is that your title?
Only whenever we, we're like, we got to be serious.
Yeah.
Take authority.
When you got to call Amy on the carpet and say, "Now listen here, Amy."
Yeah, when I get in trouble.
I'm sure that never happens. You're like the sweetest. You're like the sweetest person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what? I'm gonna let that in.
Well, it stands to reason that your personalities, because we've all gotten together before and had conversations and done interviews that haven't involved the video portion of everything, but we love when we have organizations such as yours that come in, because the representatives are so engaging, they're so happy about what they do, and you can tell that this is a passion that you hold dear. Your heart just shines through. So we know this interview is going to be amazing, if only because of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. And you have a lot of trust in us. But we have a great team. We love working together. I'm really fortunate in that respect that we've got a good group pulling together.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't know or isn't familiar, what is the United Way of Franklin County? What's the mission?
So our mission is to improve lives across the county by mobilizing people and business and organizations organizations throughout Franklin County. So really pulling together a lot of people, a lot of resources, a lot of energy and talent to help organizations and to make the community better.
How many organizations are you currently assisting?
So we provide financial support for about 20 different programs right now.
In Franklin County.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That is
they're
incredible.
all across the county.
And what are some of the bigger activities that you've had so far this year?
Well, let's see. Probably one of my favorites, we had United We Read this summer, which is a reading program we launched in partnership with summer programs. Like Boys and Girls Club was just here with you. They're one of our program partners, so we provide funding support for them. But the summer program we've done in partnership, which brings volunteers in to read a book with kids that are participating. And every kid gets a book, and it's a combination of our volunteers coming in to read and the kids help read to get everybody excited about more reading, more literacy.
Absolutely.
And so that was a fun project, and that involved the YMCA's locally, Boys and Girls Club, some of the Early Learning Center in Waynesboro. Am I forgetting anybody? We had about 17 sites just with those 4 organizations.
Wow, so you've been busy.
Yeah, busy summer.
and you're gearing up for a big event on November 1st.
That's right.
Yes, tell us about that.
So Kelly?
Yeah, on November 1st, it's our Fall Day of Caring. It's a community-wide volunteer day. We connect volunteer groups or individual volunteers with local organizations that submit project needs. So it could be anything from landscaping to organizing to painting. Really, the projects are all over the map, but it's a great day for community to get out and learn more about different nonprofits in our community and give back.
Before you chime in here, Tony, how can the community support you for your Day of Caring?
We'd love for people to participate. So our volunteer sign up just went live this week. It's on our website, on our socials, and you can just call us too, and I can help you get signed up. I think we have between 10 and 15 projects right now. If there's any nonprofits out there that are still looking for some help with the fall project, we could definitely plug you in as well.
And we can always use sponsorship support too. We try to provide care packages when the volunteers go out, and of course there's materials involved with some of the projects too, so it all helps make it happen.
I think United Way finds itself in a unique position because it is one of the most well-known. You ask anybody, nine people out of 10 say, "You heard of United Way?" "Yeah, I've heard of United Way." But it's when you ask them, "Well, what does United Way do?"
Well known, but
yeah,
not so well.
Not 100%.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Let's put it this way: great name recognition, but perhaps not well known as in what the mission is. Now, everyone knows they do good work. I think what you would get is you would get someone who would say, people would say, "Oh yeah, they do great work." But when you really try to drill them on something, it's because I was there before as well, so I'm speaking from experience. So if you could, Amy, take us through what United Way does, functioning as a nonprofit.
Happy to do that. And to be perfectly honest, I was there too.
Right.
So I
think we all were at one point. I really do.
And nobody wants to ask.
Nobody wants to ask. But when the organization started, we were started as an organization to bring funding together to help people in the community. That hasn't really changed. But if you went back to our roots in, say, the 1940s, when we were getting started,
wow,
there was a lot of connecting through churches to individual families directly, like for emergencies that came up. Now we work through organizations, so we're behind the scenes most of the time funding the organizations that people are connecting to. So whether it's something like Boys and Girls Club or the Therapeutic Riding Center or the YMCA's, there are like 20 different programs that we support, and that's just through the financial assistance that we raised during our campaign. But then throughout the year we have volunteer projects, so we're connecting lots of volunteers. Last year it was over 4,800 volunteer hours came through our organization to help others in the community, and that makes the community better for everyone. But we also, our day-to-day work involves connecting different organizations together. If we find two organizations trying to accomplish the same goal, and we can help connect them and make it stronger, that's one of the things we're plugged into pretty regularly. We're often working behind the scenes to connect early childhood providers, pre-K, early learning providers, or if there's something related to financial stability for people in our community, we may be working behind the scenes to bring different organizations together in an effort. And so that's what our day-to-day looks like, which is why often people are confused about what we do, because we touch a lot of different pieces of community, and we do a lot to bring people together or to bring organizations together. But it's not the type of thing where we're necessarily out with a signpost in every corner of community. We're there, but we're behind the scenes.
I'm sorry, I'm going to throw a time out real quick. Now, we are live, okay, so we're being told, we're getting word that it's difficult to hear both of you, so if I could, we're just going to re-mic real quick for you, and I might come over, and I think that ought to make us
see
hear
if this
Amy
is a little
bit.
better.
Oh, that's definitely going to be
okay,
better.
good.
There.
All right, we're back. And forgive me, we both have soft voices, and so we have to be reminded sometimes that
okay.
You got to hear us.
Well, you're also competing against the two of us, and we're like...
Kelly, if I could have you move yours to the other side.
Sure.
Because I didn't think about it because you look this way, so we'll hopefully make that a little better here. Hey, look, this is as live can get, and I think that might be better.
Is that better?
Awesome. Much better. Yeah, we're getting thumbs up.
Tell us your title again, Kelly.
Community Engagement Officer.
Perfect, perfect. Now, I want to go back to what you were saying just a few minutes ago, Amy. How would a nonprofit, how does someone qualify to get assistance from the United Way?
So a lot of times it starts with a phone call. Simple phone call. A nonprofit will reach out to let us know that they're doing work in the community and they want to make a connection. And that's where almost all of our relationships start. If it doesn't start because we showed up someplace and somebody introduced themselves. But then once we get into that conversation, we have an application process. It rolled out over the summer and actually is wrapping up now in terms of what the funding is going to look like for the coming year. But organizations connect. Sometimes they connect because they need volunteers for a project. Sometimes they connect because they're looking for funding, and sometimes they just need help figuring out who to connect with in the community to accomplish their goals. Like I said, we help in a lot of different ways. But once we get those relationships going, then we try to find the right places to plug them in and look for ways that we can help.
How are you dealing with or responding to what I think is on everyone's mind now with the recovery efforts in Florida and North Carolina from Helene and now Milton barreling down, set to make landfall tomorrow evening as a Category 5? It's I'm sure the United Way are mobilizing, getting ready to go. Is that correct? I mean, how do you...
Yeah, so a lot of times in that kind of an emergency, United Way is in every community working. So we're channeling resources in their direction from people that want to impact specifically those communities. It's working across the nation. We've got links live on our social media right now so that if somebody wants to make a donation, to have it go right into the communities that are impacted. Basically, the link takes you right through United Way Worldwide, which is a separate organization from us, but we're all networked together. And that way, if somebody here wants to impact a community in Florida or North Carolina, they can direct their donation right where it needs to go.
And I think that's really important because people want to help. They want to get involved. They want to do something, but they don't know what to do.
Exactly.
You know, and getting in a car and driving down there might not be
not the best
thing to do. Right, exactly.
And so many people get concerned about, are the dollars going to get where they need to go? And the nice thing across the United Way network is we've got all the tools already in place. In a normal year, we've got companies moving funds to communities they want to impact specifically through our network. And so we're used to moving funds. When a donor tells us this is where I want it to go, we're able to direct it where they want to be. And that's just one of the benefits of being part of that United Way network. You know, like I said, when our organization is working, our focus is entirely local. So the community campaign, everything that's raised here stays here, except for on occasion a donor will say, well, I want it to go to my home, which happens to be, in another community.
Right.
The link for the hurricane effort is its own separate link. It's running through United Way Worldwide, and we're just helping to promote it.
I think what we find a lot of times, as Katie said, is you want to do something, you may not know what to do. I know that after Helene, people were buying up toilet paper, thinking that it was the best thing to do, that surely someone is going to organize taking this. And there are those organizations, not saying there aren't, but sometimes the best thing you can do is take the money that you were otherwise going to pay for that, donate it to something like the United Way Worldwide, like you said, and let them, they know, not only do they know where the need is, they know what the needs are.
Right.
And they can get it where it needs to be.
And people already on the ground in those communities, which is the lovely part. I know because we had a conversation earlier this week. I connected with Alan White, who's with the Red Cross. We've worked in a community together for years. Their Red Cross is mobilizing and going. And so I know that's also a great place to donate, to get resources, and they're sending volunteers. I think every week they're sending a new group of volunteers down to go through this.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Amazing.
I mean, it's wonderful, but it's
just
so
you need people that can pick up and go like that. And thankfully, there are people in this community that are willing to jump in and go down to an effort like that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. So if I, as a resident of Franklin County, if I wanted to get involved, I love to volunteer, but I never really know where to start, where to go, who needs me. Would that be something I could contact you, Amy, and say, hey, I have some free time. I'd like to help out and be more involved in my community. Can you help to place me somewhere or put me in touch with somebody?
Can you plug Katy in?
We can.
To somewhere.
We absolutely can. So honestly, that's a lot of the day-to-day work that Kelly is involved with. We do communications on a regular basis that electronically, and again through our social media too, that are putting out current volunteer opportunities, organizations that are looking for somebody right now. We have the days, like the Day of Caring that we schedule, that happen pretty much every quarter throughout the year, so that if a group wants to connect or an individual, there's always an upcoming event that they can plug in and make a meaningful difference. Or just call our office, because I promise you, I can always find a project.
I'm sure.
Kelly, let me ask you this. United Way, I like to think of your organization, now that I know and have for a few years now, and many thanks to Amy for this over the years, but you guys are the gatekeepers. I think you are the curators, the gatekeepers, the vetting organization, if you will, for many things, charitable organizations, nonprofits. I'm sure you take great pride in that, but take us through someone calls in, maybe they speak to you, or they speak to one of the volunteers or employees at United Way. What does a typical conversation sound like when someone calls and they have $100 and they want to know what to do with it, and they call and talk to someone? What's that going to go like?
We always appreciate when we get calls like that, because it brightens our day, because we know it's going to be used to support something in our community. Typically, we'll walk through the process with them, like maybe like the logistics behind the donation, but really getting to the meat of why they want to donate. I love to ask people how they connected with us if it's not someone that I've already had the chance to talk to. Getting to know, why they want to donate, and if there's a specific area that they want to impact. We have 4 focus areas that we divide our program partners into, and the things that we do: early learning, basic needs, financial stability, and healthy living. So if they wanted to maybe focus in their donation into a specific area, they could do that, and it would go to impact several or more programs that kind of deal with that topic. Or if they wanted, to designate to another organization, we talk through that. But really just hoping to understand their why and making sure they feel like they're confident knowing
where it's going and what they want to support.
Sure.
And I assume that this also goes for, there may be a business. Maybe you come up on the end of a quarter or coming up on the end of the year, and you had a particular budget that was set aside. This is what we're going to donate to charity or nonprofits. I would assume that you would also help to direct them as to what they could do with it, or maybe they have a team of people who say we would love to volunteer to. Maybe they don't know who to contact for Habitat for Humanity, and I'm assuming that's something that you guys could help them with.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime anybody needs to connect in with another organization, we always try to help bridge that gap, because we want to, like Amy mentioned at the beginning, we want to be that connector and help people get to where they want to go. But we also try to get to know the businesses. If we have someone reaching out, and what are they passionate about? What are their staff interested in? How do they want to be involved? Because there might be events that we do that would align with their core values, and we hear that a lot. Different businesses like specific events because that's kind of in line with what they want to support in the community. So having lots of options for corporate support, whether it's volunteer days or needs, or designating their like corporate gift.
I think what's, Katy mentioned earlier about her, wanting to volunteer her time, but I think now looking at it, a company such as Verständig Media, I think we all would be on board with Katy volunteering.
Go Katy! I love to volunteer and I have the time. It's just, like I said earlier, thanks a lot, Tiny. I thought you were getting really deep on me for a second. I was, I
feel like we need to lighten the mood a little bit.
But I always just think like soup kitchen. That's the first thing that comes to mind, and which, I've done that quite a few times and I love it, but I would love to have a conversation with you separately and see how I can help out and get involved, because I love the community and I'd love to see what what I could do for you.
That would be awesome.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Katy will be happy to connect you, and if you want to bring some folks along with you, Tiny.
This guy right here.
I love the community. I love that. I grew up here. Did both of you grow up in this area?
I did not.
Where are you from, Kelly?
Where are you from, officer?
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
But I have strong ties when you grow up anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's ways that we can help, feel free to reach out. And I truly do mean that. All kidding aside, I'll gladly put Katy on something.
Absolutely. And honestly, we have felt the support through Verständig for years. I mean, I remember when I used to come in, we'd do like the day before.
Oh yeah, the spectacular, sure.
Yeah, and so many events over the years, and you've come out for our early learning.
The early learning, but you also did a couple years ago when our station owner, Mr. Verständig, made that large donation. That was between Franklin and Washington counties.
That was so cool because he wanted to impact food insecurity, and he called us, and that was fun because we could work together to figure out a plan in terms of how we were going to impact community, and like you indicated, working between Franklin and Washington County, because that's your listening group, and I know it extends even farther than that. Yeah. But it's important sometimes to reach multiple communities.
Sure.
And so we can work together to do that kind of thing too.
Well, we look forward to continuing to work with you in the future as
Absolutely.
well. Amy, Kelly, thank you so much for coming today for Let's Talk Tri-State. It's always fun to have you in studio here.
Good to
And
be here.
thank you so much. Coming up, we are going to take another look at local news and sports, all powered by Veritas Men's Health in Hagerstown. Telehealth options available online at veritasmenshealth.com.
Kamala Harris is running for president to put more money in your pocket.
Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, and we will do this by restoring 2 tax cuts designed to help middle-class and working Americans: the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit.
Kamala also wants to put caps on outrageous rent increases and the cost of life-saving prescription medicine.
Compare my plan with what Donald Trump intends to do. He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts year after year.
Donald Trump, he's behind closed doors, promising his billionaire friends he'll look out for them.
You're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts?
Kamala Harris is looking out for the rest of us.
I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans.
Paid for by FFPAC, ffpac.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Shop Ludwig's Jewelers October 18th and 19th during their Applefest Fall Sale. Save up to 75% with sidewalk sales and in-store sales. Some exclusions apply. Stop by and see the new fall arrivals, from diamonds and colored gemstones to fine timepieces, gift items, and more. Celebrate Applefest with timeless savings at Ludwig's Jewelers, 121 South Main Street, downtown Chambersburg. More than a store, a tradition for over 145 years.
Making your home more comfortable, secure, and efficient. That's the goal of CV Winger, from upgrading your heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems to installing new faucets or security lights. CV Winger is your solution, a certified York dealer offering products backed by decades of experience. Founded over 140 years ago, York has been an industry leader from the start. Talk to CV Winger today about the upgrades you want in your home and receive a free estimate on your projects. From installing new Comfort Height toilets to a whole house generator or a heat pump water heater. See how properly installed quality York products can make your home smarter, more efficient, and more reliable. You can save money on your energy costs too. Call CV Winger today at 717-263-1469 or find them online at cvwinger.com. CV Winger in Chambersburg, your certified York dealer.
Hey, it's Cody from Bell Jewelers. We're excited to invite you to a special in-store event from Thursday, October 10th to Saturday, October 12th, featuring Levion jewelry. Experience 30% off all in-stock Levion pieces, including their unique collections such as strawberry and vanilla gold, blueberry tanzanite, chocolate diamonds, and Neapolitan opals. Plus, receive a free gift with any Levion purchase. This is a perfect opportunity to own a piece of Levion's exquisite collection at an unbeatable price. Bell Jewelers on Northern Avenue, Chambersburg, your diamond destination.
At the Butcher Shop, you can count on us to provide deals on your favorite holiday or special occasion foods when you need them. Hi, this is Ann from the Butcher Shop in Chambersburg. We take pride and care in the food we provide, and whether you're shopping for a graduation, a cookout, or a holiday weekend gathering, the Butcher Shop will have a deal for you. Find the best local brands, beloved Pennsylvania recipes, and weekly seasonal deals you can't ignore when you shop with us. 410 Stauffer Avenue in Chambersburg or at mybutchershop.com.
When you and your loved one need extra support for a very serious illness, there's just one call to make: to Hospice of Washington County.
They provided a team of professionals to meet our loved ones and our family's needs.
They allowed me to be my mother's daughter again and to spend special time with her. I knew I had help just a phone call away.
They were there in our home with help and medical equipment exactly when we needed them.
When your loved one needs extra support for a serious illness, there's just one call to make: to Hospice of Washington County. Hospice care is a fully covered Medicare and Medicaid benefit, and no one is ever turned away for an inability to pay. Hospice of Washington County cares for the whole family. Call 301-791-6360. That's 301-791-6360. Or visit hospiceofwc.org.
No, Robbie, there's no time to play a round of Duck Duck Goose. We've got to let people know that they can dive into wellness at the Floor Pool's Endless Pool Wellness Event, Saturday, October 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at all 3 Floor Pool's locations. That's right, Robbie. Endless pools are versatile. Their compact size ensures year-round access to fitness in any space. You can swim against the adjustable current for low-impact workouts and gentle rehabilitation. Right again, Robster. The free-flow mini hot tub is an affordable, economical, compact option perfect for limited spaces. It's easy to set up. Just plug and play. It's energy efficient, keeping your utility bills down. Its portability allows for easy relocation, and at just $55 a month, it puts hydrotherapy and stress relief within easy reach of nearly everyone. Discover all the benefits Saturday, October 19th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Endless Pool Wellness Event at Floor Pools in Chambersburg, Hagerstown, and Martinsburg.
Need to get airborne to finish your current project? Franklin Equipment Rental can help. Rent forklifts, scissor lifts, extended reach forklifts, telescopic booms, and more. With 25 years experience, they know what you need. Take advantage of their weekend special and get 2.5 days work for the price of one. Or rent by the day, week, or month. Open Monday through Friday, 3110 Philadelphia Avenue, Chambersburg. Online at franklinequipmentrental.com. Their job is to make your job easier.
Sunday, November 3rd, Cedar Ridge Children's Home and School in Williamsport, Maryland is hosting their 12th annual fundraiser quarter auction. Admission $5 per person. Doors open at 1 p.m. The auction begins at 2. Items to be auctioned include gift certificates for goods and services, gift cards for local businesses, curated gift baskets, and much more. No pre-sales. Details on Facebook or online at cedarridgeministries.org.
Getting on the road is easier than you think. Schedule a test ride today at M&S Harley-Davidson to find the one. Let freedom inspire you. Fresh ideas, fresh bikes, your own style, your own choice. Grab hold of the Harley-Davidson experience and create the hottest bike on the road. Wind, miles, freedom begins at M&S Harley-Davidson. 160 Falling Spring Road off exit 16 of I-81 in Chambersburg. Call 717-709-9650. M&S Harley-Davidson. They fulfill dreams of personal freedom.
We're speaking with Josh Dahl, certified nurse practitioner and owner of Virtus Men's Health in Hagerstown.
We are a full-service men's clinic that take care of pretty much any issue that a man may have related to erectile issues, low testosterone, weight gain and or loss, and just trying to be as optimal as they can throughout their life. And we can certainly provide those services and give the guys the edge to still be active and live that full, healthy lifestyle and continue to do the things that they like to do.
At what age do you say, well, you could seek help with Virtus Men's Health?
I would say the majority of the clients we're going to service are probably going to be between the age of 35 and 70.
Josh Dahl, certified nurse practitioner and owner, Virtus Men's Health, Morgans Avenue in Hagerstown. Online, virtusmenshealth.com. Josh, what do you say to the guy who might find these topics embarrassing?
We're happy to be able to talk to you about that and really give you a detailed explanation and be that person that can relate to your problems and really help move you forward in a good, positive direction.
During October, the Rain Tunnel Car Wash in Chambersburg is raising money for the Little Daisy's Closet. At the end of the month, the Rain Tunnel Car Wash will match the amount of donations raised. Little Daisy's Closet is a great organization that has a huge impact on our community. So stop in and make a donation this month to help our community. Stop by the Rain Tunnel Car Wash on Orchard Drive in Chambersburg to donate today.
Don't let all that can be scary in your water ruin your future holiday season. Negley's Water offers a free in-home water analysis. Whether you're looking for a water softener system, reverse osmosis, ultraviolet lighting, or an ion cooler with or without a built-in ice feature. As an Evolve dealer, working with their Made in America product line, we've already set the highest in standard when it comes to quality. Backed by our experience and customer service, we invite you to turn your water into something spooktacular with a call to your local Evolve dealer. Negley's Water, 888-458-2118, or find more online, negleyswater.com/radio. Feel better about your water and your holiday season ahead. That number again, 888-458-2118.
You can't spell autumn without two A's.
Well, there's only one A in autumn.
Well, there's no fun in autumn without 2A Arms, the original 2A in Chambersburg. If you are headed to the woods for archery or rifle seasons, 2A has everything you need, including youth hunting rifles from top names, and they can special order archery items. Your successful hunt begins at 2A Arms, 700 West Loudon Street, Chambersburg. Online at 2ARmsLLC.com. 2A and PA, firearms and freedom.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, voted best in the Tri-State.
Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter, a place that we just know and love, and Jen, a lady we know and love. It is so good to see you.
You guys, this is Old Home Week. I love this.
It's been way too long since we've had a chance to chat.
I was literally like, see Tiny and Katy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a dream come true.
I know, right?
It's
Jen,
Christmas in October.
Right? You used to come into the studio and talk with us about once a week. You would come in. And if there is anyone who can just light up a room and has so much energy and enthusiasm, you can look around all you want, but find a mirror. Find a mirror.
Somebody else coming.
And you'll. It's Jen. It's so good to see you. And we really haven't. I'm not just saying this. We haven't seen each other in years.
No, No, you guys. Verstandig does the dog days. You do a carnival down there in Williamsport for us,
That's
and
right.
I think
We
I
did
saw
do that
you
a few
one
years back.
time.
Yep.
down there, but that was a while ago.
It was.
Yeah,
I haven't seen you in over 10
no,
years.
you I
It's been a
haven't
long
seen
time.
for a long time.
Your hair's purple now.
I know. You never know what color it'll be. My
I know.
mother's like, hello.
I
And I'm
like it. You
dial
gotta
it
keep
back.
people on their toes a little bit.
Of course you do. I'm like, Mom, give me a break.
Tell us about Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter, because we know how passionate you are for it, and just tell us about it.
Well, we work 365 days a year taking care of the animals. We have cats, we have dogs, we have rabbits. Sometimes we have guinea pigs.
Ferrets?
We had a bunch of ferrets one time, many, many moons ago. Snakes, turtles. I don't really handle the snakes.
Wow.
Like, not all the time, because if we have a snake, I'll bring it to Tiny. But
I think we haven't seen it. It'll be about 5 more years till we see each other again.
I can just see you with a big boa wrapped around your neck. No?
Not
bow,
really.
perhaps. Not bow up.
I do. Put a bow around me. I do present nice.
I'm saying. I'm just saying. So essentially, sorry, like it hasn't even been 2 minutes. I'm already veering us off the track.
Okay.
Shocking. So basically it's stray animals. We do help owned animals that need to be rehomed as well, but we are primarily there for the strays that don't have anywhere to go. And we basically are their transition, and we find them their forever homes. And we actually, one of the cool things that I've noticed over the last couple of years, we've done it the whole entire time that I've been there, but it's really come to the forefront of my mind, is that we create relationships. Mm-hmm. So we give people, a lot of times, their best friends. Yeah. And that is that is a huge, huge thing in this world, to present joy, to give them somebody to come home to give them somebody that loves them unconditionally.
As a single woman who lives alone,
Girl,
my cat
preach it.
You're
gonna make me cry.
Yeah, she's everything.
Same to me, 100%.
When I got her, I walked into the facility and there was a glass, the glass enclosure, and she just came up and just pawed at it. And
they know. They 100%. That's what I'm saying. Those are connections that we make. Those are the connections that we build, because people will walk in. We've had people come in, we just stop by, and it's like instantaneous. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I think this is my dog, or I think this is my cat, because it wasn't even necessarily something that they were looking for. It just happened.
It's just funny how they find you.
Yes,
they find you.
100%. 100%. And I've seen it for the last 22 years. Can you believe I've been there that long?
Yeah.
I'm not that old.
I can. Oh, you're not that old. You have a...
You're never going to invite me back?
Oh, no, we will. Every time I think about the Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter, I always think of the quote-unquote brand new building.
Yes.
Now, you've been in that brand new building for how
10
long?
years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. 2013 was when so it's more than.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2013 was when we moved into our brand new building.
Have you outgrown it yet?
We're jam-packed right now, full of dogs. Yeah. And this is... For the first time, I think, since we've been in this brand new building, we are, jammed. It is to the point where every kennel in our adoption is full. And as soon as one gets adopted, we pull one from isolation and get them right into the adoption area. I'm not kidding. That's how jammed we are.
Do you have like a max capacity, or will you ever
we can't turn away strays if it's a legitimate stray, so we find somewhere. So we have animals like everywhere you can imagine to put animals.
Friends.
Exactly.
Looking
exactly.
at, classifieds. Is there a room open somewhere?
No kidding. So we do absolutely everything that we can. But yeah, we are jam-packed right now. So if anybody is looking, I always say now's the time, but we've never been empty in the 22 years I've been there either. So
I was going to ask you if during COVID, did you have experience any of that?
We did not. No, because we continued to get the stray animals, and they continued to come in, and we just made sure that it was safe for the people, as well as the animals. And we continued to adopt out pets during COVID. So yeah, it was great.
And Jen, if someone isn't in need of a pet right now, but they still wanted to support, what do you need at the shelter?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are always in need of kitten food, because the kittens keep coming regardless of what we do. Yep. They're doing the vodka shots and bringing us the... Hey, look what we did.
You should show back up the next day and they're still ready for you. They still need fed.
They're going after rum that time. So they keep bringing us the product of that. So kitten food always, liquid laundry detergent, bleach. The one thing 22 years ago when I walked into the shelter for the first time, I said, why are all these washing machines here? Right?
Now you wonder why there aren't more.
Right, yeah, for real. And now I wonder, why don't we have a whole commercial?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. Wall to wall. So any blanket, any towel, anything that they sleep on gets washed every single day to keep them healthy, to keep the area clean, and to make sure that we're keeping them sanitary. And so because of that, we go through washing machines like you wouldn't believe. So Liquid laundry detergent, bleach, we use that every day. And trash bags, you can imagine. Yes, the
sure.
litter alone.
So things that, like, when I think of an animal shelter needs, I think cat food, litter, dog food.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's more like housekeeping things. Like,
It really, yes.
household items.
It really is funny because people, the other thing I didn't realize 22 years ago was we're a business too. So we have air conditioning, heat, we have electric, we have, anything that your house would have payment-wise and bill-wise, we have that. And the same thing for businesses, we have that. And so, but of course, the vast majority of our money goes into our animals. So, yeah, exactly. Our medicines to get them well and our vet care to keep them well. And
But you have a whole wonderful team of vets, I'm sure, that donate their time. And
we have a great group of veterinarians. We have a great staff up there right now. And it's just a great organization to be part of. And thanks to you guys, you help us. I can't tell you how many animals you've helped over the years. Seriously.
I want to talk about one thing, too, is there is, and I don't know why, but some people shy away from adopting because of this. I've heard this time and time again. There is a small adoption fee that goes into this, and it is small.
It is
very small.
Sure.
But I think a lot of people shy away from that because they're not educated on what that covers. So can you just take us through what does that part cover? Put people's minds at ease.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk about that. So for our adoption fees, our puppies, I think we're actually $212 now for puppies, but as Tiny was just saying, they are all spayed and neutered. They have all been started on their vaccinations. They will have a microchip for permanent identification, and they've all been treated for fleas, ear mites, ticks. We even check, I think, the heart. We have new machines now that we have that we can actually go deeper than we used to back in the day.
And that would be hundreds and hundreds
of
dollars.
Please talk to any vet's office what that would cost you.
Sure.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. And so you're getting an animal. We're not, in all sincerity, the spay and neutering alone, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a deal. Right. And for our cats, well, me, girlfriend, we are like, I get you. And
for real.
Seriously.
Let's pause for a second.
Here we go.
Look out, different show. So you've never, he's never bringing me back.
I got you.
So our kittens are actually $85, but our adult cats, so that would be 7 months and older, which I even think a kitten is still 7 months is still a kitten, but 7 months and older is a donation from your heart. So whatever you want to give, and the cats get the exact same thing that I just listed. So spayed and neutered, microchip, shots, and
you don't have a set rate for adult cats. Wow.
Because we're trying to find them homes.
Now we're running up against it here as far as time goes. So what I want to say, tell us very quickly in about, we have say 90 seconds. So tell us about the dog walk coming up, but basically get us the website as well so that everyone can go and find out info about it.
Absolutely. We do actually have a trunk or treat coming up on Friday, this coming Friday. So come out to the shelter for that for sure. And I want to thank everybody who came out to our dog walk on Saturday. No, you're good. You're good. I know time gets away from me. And $8,500.
Wow.
I know. I want to clap really bad, but I'm afraid I'm going to kill the mics. Golf. And so just the community supports us. I could sit here and cry if I talk about it too long because I've done this for 22 years and it chokes me up every time I talk about. We are so lucky to be where we are in this state and in this country, quite frankly, because the people around here, and I know I'm preaching to the choir with you too because you see it every day, but the people around here are generous, are giving, are kind, and when we put the call out to say, guys, help us, we need XYZ, it'll just show up on our door. They'll just drop it off. They won't even, it's not even a give me a big thank you, give me a tinker tape. No, they drop it off and drive away. And that is, I'm going to sit here and cry.
cvas-pets.org. Jen, thanks for stopping by.
Anytime, baby.
We do have to run, but big thanks to Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro for sponsoring today's show. And day 2, I think we're rocking and rolling.
I have another friend I'd like to thank here, Legends Bar, for your sports fix, game day specials, and brews, Honeywell Avenue in Chambersburg.
And we will talk to you tomorrow.
Pew pew! Here at Hafer's Guns, we're all about making shooting fun, but the shooting sports have so much more to offer. Things that social media and video games just don't have.
Concepts like vigilance, perseverance, discipline, and respect, just to name a few.
So when you think about your next family activity, think about the shooting sports. Think about Hafer's Guns, your one-stop gun shop. Now with 2 locations, 15411 National Pike in Hagerstown and 6541 Williamsport Pike in Falling Waters, West Virginia. Pew pew!
Bob Casey supported sanctuary city policies that let criminal illegal immigrants onto our streets instead of deporting them. Casey voted over and over again to fund sanctuary cities, making our neighborhoods less safe. After an illegal alien was arrested for domestic assault in Philadelphia, instead of deporting him, they let him go. Thanks to sanctuary city policies Bob Casey supported. That same criminal, released under the radical policy Casey voted for, went on to repeatedly rape a 5-year-old girl. It could have been prevented. It should have been prevented, but Bob Casey failed us. The U.S. Attorney said this young girl was raped because of Philadelphia's sanctuary city policy. Bob Casey voted over and over for this madness, putting our families, our children at risk. We've had enough of Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Ready to satisfy